Maggie Mae.
Join us as we follow the moon. Today we are exploring Savannah, Georgia, and we've both been here before, but every time you come to Savannah it's like finding something new all over again.
That's right.
So come along with us and enjoy a day in Savannah.
Thanks.
Now we wanted to start off going across the bridge. The Talmadge Memorial Bridge is kind of the iconic thing on the Savannah skyline. It's actually Route 17 coming in from the north, and it's a beautiful bridge and a beautiful view.
It sure is.
And when you get off the bridge, you're basically in downtown Savannah. And there's the site from River Street looking back at that bridge we just came across. Now, River Street is a beautiful area, a lot of old, probably warehouse type buildings. There's the convention center across the water from it.
I just love the old buildings.
They don't need speed bumps in this town either. This is a little memorial to the SS Savannah, which was the first steamship to cross the Atlantic, and the SS John Randolph, which is America's first successful iron steamship. Both came out of Savannah, Georgia. You can tell those buildings have been around for a while.
Yep.
Now this is a little store we stopped at called the Black Dog. Everything in there's got a black dog on it, including the store. Even the little side alleyways, the little courtyards out along the river, it's everything, everywhere you look. It's
you can just wander and wander. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Now the World War II Memorial is right there along the waterfront. I thought this was really kind of cool. It shows the world divided, which is exactly what World War II was all about.
Absolutely.
On the inside of it are names to be remembered from the area. This is the African American Monument, which is also located right there along the river, and the inscription on it is from Maya Angelo. Now this we saw out there quite a bit, the Georgia Queen. They do lunch cruises and dinner cruises. It seems to be a pretty popular attraction in the area. So is this one, River Street Sweets. If you ever have heard of pralines, this is the area of the country they're from. And they're making them just as fast as they can make them because they're selling them as fast as they can sell them.
So good.
They are. Very sugary, but very good. Now this is the River Street Inn. This is one of the historic inns down along the area. River Street sits much lower than the rest of the city, and there's stairs or
oh my gosh, yeah,
ramps to drive on, but it's considerably lower than the rest of the city. I like that. Bob's your uncle, on the other side of the store was Fanny's your aunt. There you can start to see a little bit of the seawall down along there. Now this is Florence Martus, Savannah's waving girl, and she was out there waving up until she passed in 1943, waiting for someone to come back to her.
Mm-hmm.
This is from the 1996 Olympic Games. This was the yachting cauldron, and even though the yachting competition didn't take place right there in Savannah, that's where the Olympic flame was. Now this gives you an idea down towards the end. This is part of the wall, and that's just part of the difference in height. But that takes you up to Emmett Park. And Emmett Park is a beautiful little park. It's also home of the old harbor light. This was a gas light that was used for navigation, much like a lighthouse would be. But even though it looks like a street lamp, it was a gas light, and there's the harbor straight out from it.
I'm guessing that those trees were not quite as big as they are now.
Yeah, I think they've grown a little.
Yeah.
Now, also there in Emmett Park is their Vietnam Memorial. And this was really interesting, and unfortunately the video doesn't do it justice, but that's a carving of Vietnam. There's also there in the park the Americans of Irish Descent Memorial. Like I said, you don't need speed bumps when you have these cobblestones.
And you definitely want to hang on to the that handle of the
stroller.
The stroller, thank you.
There was an area that in order to get into the back doors, they had little bridges across there. We stopped for a real quick bite for lunch at the warehouse, and Cathy had a bratwurst, and I had fried pickles.
It was all good.
Now, we went back on a second day, and we decided the second day we would take advantage of Old Savannah tours. And you can see everybody goes on the tour bus. Yeah. Even Forrest.
That's right.
He's got his box of chocolates, and he's ready to hit the town. But it's an on and off trolley, so you can get off at each stop, get back on when the next one comes around, and you'll see so much more of the city.
Oh, yeah.
We were very impressed with this.
And it's just a 15-minute wait between them.
Now, this is Madison Square. This is one of 27 of the original 29 squares around the town. There's still 27 of the original 29 squares that are there in use. Right there at that square was Sherman's headquarters. Sherman commandeered that house and used that as their command center. Now, that beautiful church is St. Joseph's Church. And this is the Savannah Volunteer Guard building. I thought that was so pretty. And yes, to answer your question, it's very pet friendly.
Yes, it is.
Now, Chippewa Square is famous for a couple of reasons, but if you took that sign out of the picture and you put a park bench there, that's where Forest Gump sat.
That's right. Now, this was something that was really special for me because I was a Girl Scout, and Juliette Gordon Low was born in this house. This is also where the Girl Scouts have been gathering for over 100 years. She was actually called Daisy, for those of you who didn't know that. Daisies is their first entry level of Girl Scouts. Very special place for me. My mother was a Girl Scout leader. I was, my daughter was, and now my granddaughters are also Girl Scouts. This is the Andrew Low house, and he was a wealthy merchant. That house was built for him in 1848, and this is where Juliette Gordon Low and her husband lived. And round behind it in the carriage house, they had that's where they had their first meetings. Now it's now a museum in the house, and you can go around and see where they used to gather. Now, she was born on October 31st of 1860, and she died and is buried in the Laurel Grove North Cemetery. She died in 1927. And you can go there. You see there are actually signs to show you where she's buried, and many girls will go there, and they have this little area in front of there where they put their badges and painted rocks, and it's just really heartwarming to come there and see how the girls themselves have honored her. And there's the Girl Scout promise.
Now from there we're back on the trolley, and we went from there on up to another one of the areas, Forsyth Park. And when we were there, it happened to be a day that they had a group of antique race cars. We couldn't have timed it any better.
You were in your element.
Oh, it was amazing. Packard, Buick, you name it, they were there. And that park was really quite something too.
Yes.
The fountain at Forsyth Park is one of the most famous fountains in Savannah.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful. The way the light was hitting that day, it couldn't have been any prettier. Now, in that park also is the shrine for Pulaski, one of the generals. If you've ever heard the term keeping up with the Joneses, this is where it started.
That's right.
Historic Jones Street was one of the most prominent areas of up-and-coming Savannah. Some of the most expensive homes then, and I'm sure to this day there's some of the most expensive homes in Savannah also.
They are beautiful too.
Marble steps. It was incredible. Now, the Massey Common Schoolhouse, this was actually the oldest building remaining of Georgia's oldest public school system. It dates back to 1856. Now, this is the Cathedral Basilica, and you talk about just amazing. I had an opportunity just to go inside after the service, and it's absolutely unbelievable.
Breathtaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are not words for it. Now, we went just a short ways and we came to Colonial Park Cemetery. This is one of the oldest cemeteries there in Savannah. And this is a sign telling about the Great Yellow Fever epidemic that hit them and really made a change in the landscape of Savannah.
Yeah. I
had never seen graves like this, but the cemetery was full of them that looked like a giant bed.
Yeah.
A headboard, a footboard. Now, we stopped this day to have a nice lunch at Collins Quarter Cafe. And this place, I got to tell you, was not only outstanding, but some of the best service I've ever had anywhere. Now, you had the raspberry lemon, or the lavender lemonade, I believe.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I had a Bloody Mary. You had the CQ Club, and I had an Avo Smash. They were fantastic.
Yes, they were.
Now, the Telfair Academy and Mansion, this was actually a mansion that was turned into an academy of higher learning, and it goes into the arts. Then we decided it was time to take a little break from the downtown, and we headed out to Savannah Botanical Gardens. And this is a pet-friendly botanical garden. You're greeted first from the parking lot with the Camellia and Azalea Garden. And keep in mind, this is around the first part of November, the first week or so of November. And they had a lot of beautiful plants in bloom. They have a great little children's garden.
Oh, I love the children's garden.
And as you go around the main house, you'll see the herb garden. Tons of roses. They had probably more roses than anything else. They had gardens for each of the seasons, from the fall garden to the winter garden, spring and summer. This whole center section was all roses.
This was my favorite area.
It was so peaceful back
pond. It's just a pleasant little walk.
A very nice little park. It is totally free, no admission, and like I said, pet friendly.
And I believe they have events there.
We also came to Wormsloe Historic Site, and this was one of those things where timing is everything. We got there, we paid our admission, and as soon as we got back to the car to make the drive back here, it started to rain.
Yeah.
Pretty hard. So it may look a little rainy here in part of the footage, but it did dry out. We went into the museum, got a chance to look over some of their exhibits in there.
I always carry a poncho.
It came in handy.
Yes, it did.
And the rain had started to subside, so we went ahead and decided to go out. And it's a short walk from the gift shop back to the ruins. And these are made out of tabby, which I liken to coquina. It looks very much like that. This is their family graveyard. And it was just a beautiful walk out there through nature. They had a couple of viewing areas where you could go out on the platform. And they also had displays of what it was like in early life with the anvil there and the outside oven. The little house was really something. Had the fence going around the outside.
You could really get a good feel for life the way it was.
Absolutely. Now these are made by what they call wattle and daub.
I had never seen this before. It's like a big basket.
They weave those little twigs almost. This is the upstairs bedroom. Well, Cathy, I know we've both been here before, but what did you think of our time in Savannah this year?
It's beautiful. Any time in Savannah is well worth it. I just can't say enough about this place. It's so beautiful.
And every time we come, we find new things. We find something else new to do. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our time in Savannah with us as much as we've enjoyed being here and bringing it to you. If you have, leave us a thumbs up. We sure do appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so and ring that notification bell. That way you'll know when all of our videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.